Dude, that's the craziest thing about movement. Like, that people need to know. The craziest thing about movement. The number one thing that people are not telling you about movement, whether it's wall bounce, fatigue wall bounce, super glides, fade glide, or fade slide, mantle jumping, bunny hopping. The number one thing that people they're not just not telling you, they're lying to you about it. They're lying to you about it. The number one thing is none of the movements are that hard to do. They are all very easy to do. Like, you have to put it, dude, it's not 1,000 hours. It's not 1,000 hours to learn how to wall bounce or fatigue wall bounce. Pros and like streamers, I mean, people are gatekeeping this information. You know, one way to know that that's true is because you just don't know how to do these things. It's not like you know how to fatigue wall bounce and how to super glide. Like, even if you played for years, there's such a large percentage of the gaming community that does not know how to do any of the things I just listed. And I'll bet over half the people don't know how to wall bounce. Like, they've seen it, they've heard of it, but I'll bet over half the players don't even know how to wall bounce. It is not hard. None of this stuff, as I'm learning it, none of this stuff is difficult. Now, maybe there is some very advanced neo strafing. You know, maybe. I don't play on. I'll tell you. I mean, when tap strafing was on controller, it took me not very long to learn how to do it. Learn how to add a super glide and a tap strafe. I mean, this. Man. And as I get better, I really don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be one of those people that just doesn't tell people. Yeah. Like this movement, I've been using this. Master is not the word, but I've been using this for a day. I learned about this yesterday. It's not hard. I'm getting way faster. I'm sort of starting to see how it can be implemented into a fight. My timing's off a little bit. And the tricky thing about it is, like, there's YouTube videos on pretty much everything. But if you are 80, 90% of the player base, you don't even know what super gliding is. I'll bet 90% of the player base. I was teaching like one of my friends the other day. I mean, and he's great. He's great. He's a master's level player. He's played, I think, since season 1. He's played mouse and keyboard. He's played controller. And I showed him a super glide. He's like, "What the hell is that? How do you do that?" It's not like he couldn't master it and learn it, but he just doesn't. Yeah, in fact, you know what? That might be my next poll. I might do a YouTube like post and poll just to find out how, percentage-wise, how many many of you guys even know what a super glide is? How many of you guys even know what a control mouse is? How many of you guys know what the phase slide is? Because, yeah, there's YouTube videos out there. But if you don't know to go look up a YouTube video of, like, okay, how do you super glide? How are you going to find this information? Unless somebody you happen to follow. And I still feel like the tutorials that people put out, like they put them out kind of for views, and they put them out to, like, you know. I'm not sure if they really want everybody to know this. Like, you watch a tutorial on, like, mantle jumping. They're like, oh, it's so difficult. No, you gotta get this. It's not. Literally not. It's not difficult. Not difficult to do super zip line jump. Literally not difficult at all. And I spent years playing this game. I was a master's level player before I found... I don't think I'd ever heard of it. That's all I did. You know, mantle jumping. Mantle jumping. I mean, mantle jumping, you could maybe say is difficult. Like, I don't know. Difficult. It's a little awkward on controller. That's the way I would put it. Like, mantle jumping, just you gotta play on a higher sensitivity. You gotta, like, there's some stuff you have to do on controller to mantle jump. But way more of the gaming population can do this, then it's not like, oh, this is just so difficult. I'm just such an advanced player. That's why I can do this. Nah, it's because you guys are being gatekept. None of this stuff is quite as... And by the way, I'm gonna blow your guys' mind. Dude, you don't have to mantle the edge. Yeah, how many of you guys have seen videos on this? Okay, it's not consistent, which is why I mantled the edge, but I mean, it is consistent. The timing is just a little bit trickier. Okay. Which is why we mantled the edge. But dude, there's so much stuff. It's not difficult. And especially controller players, like, dude, they put in the hours. I think controller players probably put in more hours on this game than mouse and keyboard players. Like, hours practicing, aiming. Like, I'm not that special. Like, there's other people that do exactly what I'm doing. But it's the information that's being, like, gatekept. So, that's why we're making the Bootcamp series. We're going to teach everything that and I'm going to keep learning more and more things. I mean, I learned a new movement yesterday. And we're implementing it today.